Hello guys, welcome to Pantech E-Learning. Okay, still some people are joining, so we just wait some time. Yeah, good evening to everyone. Good evening, good evening. In the previous class, we discussed about Django, which is see how to handling with forms. And in this class, we're going to learn what is API and the web service. We're going to learn what is API and the web service. Okay. Yeah, good evening, Hasbin. Good evening. Good evening, Pranav. Yeah, good evening, Subha. Yeah, still some people are joining. We just wait some times before start the session. To 6:05 we will start. Yeah, good evening, Subhasni. Very good evening. Good evening to everyone. Okay. At 6:05 we will start the session. Okay, in Django full stack, in the Django full stack, now we're going to see what is API and the web service. The API is one of the most important concept in this modern world. Okay, let's start the session. Okay, is anybody know what is API? We all. Is there anybody know what is API? What is an API? If you know, you just share in the comment section. Let's see how many people are answer correct. What is an API? In this modern world, the API is one of the most important concept. Yeah, application programming interface. Yeah. Okay, what is the purpose? It used to interact with hardware. Okay, nice try. Yaneshwar. Yeah, application programming interface. Okay, in this session we are going to learn what is API and the web service. Okay, and now we understand what is API and what can I do with an API and who is APIs. Okay, first we understand what is an API. Okay, what is an API? Okay, first it was developed to enable communication between different software. Okay, basically the API stand for application programming interface. Application programming interface and act as a bridge. Basically the API is a applications programming interface. It used to communicate between two software. Basically it connecting a two software to communicate. They're connecting a two software to communicate. It perform an action, collect some information, maybe. Okay, yeah, okay, fine, nice try everyone. And the application programming interface, it acts as a bridge that allows system to exchange data and functionality. The API integrates platform for service like web. Okay, basically the API is nothing but it is stand for application programming interface and it is used to communicate between two software. It is used to communicate between two softwares. Okay, basically it act like a bridge. Basically what is the purpose of bridge? It is connecting a two land, right, to area. Okay, it's connecting a two area that are the same thing like application programming interface. Okay, the API is connecting a two software to communicate and exchange data and the functionality of. Okay, there is a two software and the two software having a separate functionality. Okay, the API is like intermediate that can connecting and sharing a data and the functionality of the two software. It is an intermediate basically. Okay. Okay, whenever we going to restaurant, there is a waiter in that restaurant, right? There is a waiter in the restaurant. Okay, what is the purpose of waiter? Whenever the customer visit the hotel, the waiter is going to ask which order you want to place. Okay, and after the customer reply, the waiter can go and tell to the chef. And after the chef complete the dish, the waiter collect the dish and again return to the customer. Okay, what is the purpose of waiter? The waiter can asking what is the customer request, and based on the request the waiter go and tell to the chef. The chef, after the preparing a dish, the waiter can collect the dish and again give to the customer. Okay, the same thing, the API is a application that can connecting at two different software. Basically, who is the end user? End user is, we are the end user. Who using a browser? He is a end user. Whenever we giving a request, the request is nothing but whenever we Google anything, it is called request. Okay, whenever the in the browser we giving a request, the API can collecting that request and go to the server, and based on the server data it will be giving a response to the end user. Okay, basically API is nothing but it is an intermediate that can process the customer order and deliver to the chef, and after the preparation of chef it can collecting again and it will be response to the customer again. Basically the API is like a waiter. First, getting a request and process a request, getting a request and process a request, and after we going to give the response to the customer. Okay, and now we going to understand, now we understand what is API, and now we going to understand what is URL. We already know what is URL, right? We already know what is URL. Whenever we type in the Google, Facebook or Instagram, we having some link like this, right? HTTPS and / like this, right? Like this. This is called URL. This is called URL. This is called URL. Whenever type anything in Google, it will be going through in the URL format, going through in the URL format. Okay, now we understand what is API and what is URL format, and now we are going to learn what are the advantage of API, why we use this API. Okay, the API help app talk to each other. Basically the API is an intermediate that can used to talk to each other. Basically there is a two software that can used to communicate between the two software. The API is used to communicate between the two softwares, and API used to simple rule to share data. What is the simple rule? What is the simple rule? Basically we collecting a request, and based on the request we going to and tell to the server, and it will be giving a data, and we give the data into the customers. Okay, customer means end user. Who using a browser, he is called end user. These are the simple rules. We just getting a request, based on the request we give the response. That is called simple rule. Okay, API makes apps work better and fast. The API makes apps work better and fast. Basically, if there is a two software and the two software having a separate functionalities, based on that functionalities, whenever we sharing the two functionality to each other, the apps become better. Okay, these are the things he tell here. The API makes app work better and faster. We sharing data to each other, we can be better and faster. These are the advantage. What are the advantage? API help app to talk to each other. It will be connecting two apps, and API used to simple rule and share data. We process a simple rule, request response rules, and based on the rules we just sharing a data, and API makes app work better and faster. API makes apps better and faster. Okay, these are the advantage of API. In the modern world, why APIs matters? In this, the modern world, the why APIs matters. They make software system communicate efficiently. Okay, there's a the software, there's a separate software anywhere. Okay, we just making them communicate to each other. We just make the software to communicate to each other. Okay, that can fast and fast and work better. That's why we using to connecting a two software. Okay, basically the make software communicate efficiently and work across multiple industries, and the API are used in the many industries like finance, healthcare, e-commerce, and AI and cloud. These are the sector we using a API. These are the sector we using preferred APIs to communicate to different software. Okay, they make software system communicate efficiently. It can making a software to communicate easily and efficiently and work across multiple industries like finance, healthcare, e-commerce, AI, cloud. These are different domains. Okay, using a API to in the different domains. These are also the topmost domain. The finance, healthcare, e-commerce, AI, cloud. These are the topmost domain. We using a API in this topmost domains. Okay, and easy to develop, test and deploy with the modern tool. We easily developing a API and test and deploy. We just develop and we just checking the APIs work properly, and deploy means nothing but we just using we just live the API. Live means in online, we using online in API. Okay, with modern tools. There is a several tools to develop, test, deploy. And what are the types? What are the types of APIs? What are the types of APIs? First, we're going to understand what is open API. There is a 4 types basically. One is open APIs, partner APIs, internal APIs, composite APIs. What are the types? Open APIs, partner APIs, internal APIs, composite APIs. These are the 4 types of APIs. What are the types? Open API, partner APIs, internal APIs, composite API. First, we are going to learn what is open APIs. Okay, first we are going to learn what is open API. The open API is nothing but it is open source. We already discussed about what is open source. Open source is easily available in the online anywhere. That is called open source. We easily accessing resources in online. Okay, that is called open source. Okay, the open API. In weather app, we already know weather related things. Okay, in the weather app there is a website for weather API. We just process the weather. We just know the weather based on that API. Okay, basically how do we predict weathers? Based on the sensors, right? Based on the sensor in anywhere, so we can collecting a data, and we based on the data we predicting the weathers, right? Okay, basically the weather app is maintaining by the some other website like weather app. Basically the weather app maintaining a weather websites. Okay, basically that one software only maintaining the related of weathers. Okay, we just collecting a we just asking a request to that weather app. That means we just requesting that API and we just collecting that request. Based on the request we just accessing a weather report. Okay, basically open APIs is nothing but it is an open source. Anyone can accessing that API. That is called open API. And what is partner API? What is partner API? The partner API is nothing but there is a partners. There is a partners. The two members are partners. Okay, 2 or 3 members are partners. The partners only accessing a sharing a data in between the 2 members or 3 members. That is called partner API. We just sharing a data based on 2 or 3 members. It's called partner API. The open API is we can sharing a data to anyone. The partner API is we can sharing a data with the partners only. Okay, that is called partner API. Okay, and what is internal API? The internal API is nothing but there is a one organization like Facebook or anything. Okay, if I just take example of Facebook. The Facebook is one organization, right? The Facebook sharing the data inside of the Facebook related things only. Okay, we just sharing a data inside our own organization. That is called internal API. We don't share to anyone. Okay, we just sharing with ourselves. Okay, that is called internal API. That is also called private APIs. We don't sharing a data to anyone. We just sharing a data only inside of ourselves. That is called internal APIs. And what is composite API? Okay, everyone using Flipkart, Amazon, right? In the Flipkart, the shops, there is a several shops. Okay, there is a several shops. The several shop having a separate website. Okay, the Flipkart just collecting a data of that separate website of the shop. Based on the data only we showing the products in the Flipkart. Okay, basically the Flipkart is connecting between the many shops. Okay, the shops having a separate website and the website we having a data of the products. Okay, based on the data only we just showing the number of product in Flipkart. Okay, so we just based on the data we just show in the product section number of product. Okay, and in the Flipkart we just connecting a many shops, right? That is called composite API. Okay, we just connecting the many shop websites. Okay, that is called composite. Okay, composite means nothing but many. Okay, many website are connecting between the Flipkarts. Okay, that is called composite API. We just exchanging data to the multiple companies. That is called composite API. Okay, there is a 4 types of API. One is open API, partner API, internal API, and composite API. And what are the application of web and mobile development? What are the application of web and mobile development? What are the application of web and mobile development? So what is the application of API? Okay, basically we using a web and mobile development. We using a API. In this web and mobile development, we using an API because we need to connecting a two softwares to communicate. So we using web and mobile development. Okay, we using API in the web and mobile development. And cloud computing and AI. And this sector, this domain also we using a API because we need to communicate to different softwares. And internal APIs like the private thing, the private organization, we need to share our data inside of our organization. So we using API in the private organization. And automation and data exchange, in this sector also we using a API to communicate with different softwares. And first we're going to learn what is API request. We're going to learn what is API request. The API request, when clients such as web app or mobile app send a request to the API and perform an action, and API to perform an action such as retrieve data or updating information. Okay, API request is nothing but the client. We are client. We who using a browser is called client. Okay, we just sending a request to the API. We just asking a question, like the request is nothing but we just asking a question. Okay, whenever we asking a question, it will getting an answer, right? The same. Okay, the same thing, that is called response. Okay, that is called response. First we understand what is request. The request is nothing but we just asking a question to the API, and API based on the question API will search for the answer. Okay, the API request allow to client communicate between the server and specific endpoint, methods, header and optional data information, and enabling seamless interaction between the applications. Okay, API is nothing but API request is nothing but we just asking a question to the API. The based on the question it will be process thing. Okay, what is API request? We just asking a question, like it just like asking a question. Request is we just requesting something. Okay, we just requesting to the API, that is called API request. Okay, how the API request all work? Basically the client send a request. The client send a request to the API endpoint. The client send the request through URL. We already see what is URL. Based on that URL, the client send the request, and the request include HTTP method. Okay, basically there is a 4 operation. Okay, basically there is a 4 option: get, post, put, delete. Get, post, put, delete. Okay, we just get the data, we just post the data, we just alter the data, that is called put. We just altering, changing a data, or we deleting a data. These are the these are the 4 operation. These are the 4 operation. We just get the data, post the data, put the data, delete the data. Get is collecting a data, post is we just post new data, and put is we just changing a data, delete is we just deleting that data. In the request we just process this operation only. Okay, the API process the request and send the response. Okay, the client send the request to the API endpoint through the URL, and the request include HTTP method. These are the methods. What are the methods? We just get the data or post the data or put the data or delete the data. Basically, we process this for operation in the API. An API response is a data or message that the API sends back to the client after the processing a request. Okay, now we learn what is API request. We just asking a request for data. We just asking a request for data to API. That is called API request. Okay. Now we are going to learn what is a response. Okay, we sending a request. Okay, now what you do? We need to give the response. We need to give the data to the request. We just give the data to the request. That is called response. The API responds to the data or message that the API send back to the client after processing a request. Okay, after processing a request, we need to give a response. We need to give a response. That is called response. We need to give the data to the client. That is called response. Okay, and how API response work? The client send a API request. The client who is the client? The client is who using a browser. He is called client. Okay, the client send the request. Based on the request, we just giving a data to the. Based on the request, we just process the data to the request. That is called response. The API process the request and retrieve the updates data, and server send the API response with the status code and data. Basically, we just giving a return based on the question. We just answering. The answering is called response. We just answering the question. Okay, that is called response. Okay, asking question is basically asking a question is called request. We just answering is called response. Okay, how the API works? We're going to learn how the APIs work. Okay, these are the web browser. We using a computer. Who using a computer is called client. Okay, first we just sending a request. We just sending a request on internet. The API is an intermediate that can receiving your request, and after that the API will go to the web server. And web server just processing based on the request. The what is web server? Basically, the web server is nothing but it is knowing where our database is stored. Okay, so we just processing the web server. The web server based on the request, it will be collecting a data, and after it will be giving to the API, and API will response to the browser. Okay, response to the client who using a browser is called client. These are the how the APIs work. Basically, we just give the request on internet. The API will based on the request it can asking to the server. The server will give the data to the API, and that API will again give the response to the client. This is a process of API. And we already see what are the methods. We using in API. What are the methods? We just get the data. The get is known as retrieve data from the API. We just getting a data. We just collecting a data in the database. Okay, that is called get. The post is nothing but we just create a new data. That is called post. And put is updating a existing data. There is already in the data. and we just changing the data, that is called put. And delete, the delete is we just remove the data in the server, we just deleting the data in the server, that is called delete. Get is we just getting a new data, post is we just post a new data, and put is we just changing a new changing a data, and delete is we just deleting a data. These are the API methods. Okay, in this API we just using a most important software is Postman. In API we most using software is Postman. Okay, what is the purpose of Postman? The same thing. What is the API process? We just based on the client request we just process the request. Okay, that's the same thing of Postman. The Postman is whenever the client getting a based on the client request, we just going to the API will getting the request, and API will asking to the server, the based on the response of server it will be give the response to the client. Okay, these are the same process of Postman. These are the same process of Postman. Now, what is Postman? The Postman is a popular API testing tool that can help developers sending API requests, view response, and debug API easily. The Postman is a popular software. It's used to developer can easily testing a tool, whenever we building a API. Whenever the developer building a API, the API testing tool like Postman is very useful, and because it can easily process request and response, and we also if there is any problem we easily find out, that is called debug. If there is any problem we easily find out, that is called debug. The Postman provide a user-friendly interface to organize API requests into the collection, automation, testing, and collaborate with the team and efficiently. Basically, there is a software with a good user interface. We easily accessing a API based on this software. Okay, in this software we easily accessing a we easily accessing a we easily processing them data. Okay, basically what are the operation we done? We just get the data or post the data or delete the data or put the data. These are the operation. Are we done well in this Postman application. Okay, the Postman application is basically a testing tool that can used by developer whenever we building a new API. Okay. Okay, now we understand what is Postman. The Postman is a software that can used to same thing. It used to get the data, post the data, put the data, delete the data based on the request of the test APIs. Okay. The view API response in real time. We easily can view the response in the real time using this API. Okay, we just go to the Google, we just type Postman download. In this first we just we just see the Postman. Okay, Here we just see the Windows 64 byte. Okay, you just click here to download the Postman software. Okay, this is how the Postman software is look like. Okay, based on the request. Okay, this is the request. We based on the URL, we just this is the request, and based on the request we getting a response like this. Okay, these are the response. Then basically we already having a automated API testing. We already having a predefined things in the Postman software, so we can that can make our work easy and efficiently. That's why we using a Postman for API development, and it used to easily to debug errors and checking API performance. Okay, it can easily find out the errors using of a Postman. We just easily find out the errors. That's why we using a Postman software. Okay, basically what are the operation we done using the Postman software? Get and post, put, delete. These are the four operation we using Postman. Okay, we done using Postman. Okay, whenever we giving a request to the API, it will be give some response, right? And that response in the we just asking for some data, and the API will give the response based on the data. Based on the request, we return response in the data format. Okay, and that data format is called JSON. That data format is called JSON. Okay, first we understand what is JSON. The JSON is a JavaScript object notation. The JSON is stand for JavaScript object notation, and it is a lightweight data format used for storing and exchanging a data between the system, and especially data between system in API. Okay, the basically the JSON is stand for JavaScript object notation, and it is a lightweight data format. Anyone can easily understand this JSON format, that is lightweight database, and it is used to storing on data exchange between the system. It used to exchanging a data between the system. Okay, we using this JSON in the exchanging data. Okay, the user sending a request, and API will process the request, and after based on the request we just getting a data in the server, right? We getting a data in the server, and the data is the data is in the JSON format. The JSON format is nothing but we already know dictionary in Python, right? We already know dictionary in Python. The same format is called JSON. The same format is called JSON. Okay, this is a JSON format. This is a JSON format basically. Okay. 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 This is a JSON format. Okay. What is this? I just zoom it. Okay. Okay, this is a JSON format. We already see dictionary in Python, right? We already see dictionary in Python. The same format is called as JSON format. The same format is called as JSON format. Okay, this is a key, right? This is a key and this is a value. And same thing, this is a key, this is a value, and after put comma, this is a key, this is a value. Basically, the JSON format is also similar to the dictionary in Python, and based on the key value pair. It is based on key value pair. This is called as data format. What is JSON? JSON is JSON object notation. It stands for JSON object notation. Whenever the data in JSON format, the data is in the data JSON format only. Okay. Basically the dictionary format is considered as a JSON format. Okay, it is similar to the dictionary. Okay, basically we using a key value function, and it is used the easy to read and write. The JSON format is considered easy to read and write, and it is lightweight and fast. It is lightweight and fast. It is used. It is very fast data format, and it's considering lightweight because everyone can easily understand this format. And it is language independence, and it is also used in Python, used in JavaScript, used in Java, and more language which will be providing a support JSON format. Basically this is the JSON format. Whenever we giving a request, the response will be in this format only. Okay, in this format only. The name is a key and John Doe is a value, and age is a key and 25 is a value, and email is a key and that example email is a value. Okay, basically what is API? Whenever we giving a request, API is a intermediate. It is used to communicate between the two softwares. Okay, whenever we giving a request, the API will process the request, and based on the process it will be going to the server and getting a data based on the request, and again it will be give the response to the user, that response in the format of and the response in the format of JSON. JSON is stand for JavaScript object notation. Okay, and that response will be key value pair like name, John Doe, age, 25, email, and the example email. Okay, these are the data format. Okay, and we also using a Postman. The Postman also doing the same thing. Okay, it is a software to used to do the same thing. Okay, we just getting a data or post the data or put the data and delete the data. These are the functionality of Postman software. Okay. Okay, if anyone can interested to convert this masterclass into internship, you have a way, and we also providing a certificate of 1 month internship, and we also providing a 180 days course access and get PPT with downloadable files and 3 plus major project and and the 3 project with the source code also, and we also giving a VIP community access, and we also providing extra 10 days contents, extra 9 days contents, and this is the first 10 days, and this is another 10 days content, this is the another 10 days content, and this content for who buy the internship. And we also providing a 3 major project, and one is user authentication project curd up in Django project, and another one is student attendance system. These are the 3 projects we providing with the source code. And after the complete of internship, you have we giving a certificate to the user who buy the internship. We just giving a 1 month internship certificate to the who buy the internship. Okay, if anyone can interested to buy the internship, you can scan it here. Okay, that is our today's session, and we understand what is API, we understand what is API, what is the process of API, and we also understand where we using APIs and why it's important, and what are the operation we done using API, what are the methods we using, what are the methods we using in the API. Okay, and also there is a software for Postman for API, and we also see the data format, the response in the some data format. The data format is called JSON data format in the key value pair. Okay, and thank you for your time, and that's all of today's session, and we will going to see in the next class. Okay, thank you for your time, and if you like this video, you can like and subscribe. Okay, thank you for your time, and bye bye.